In the headlines, the Prime Minister outlines principles to invigorate the country, dubbed Beacons of Barbados Renewal. Guyana's president touts the leadership of Barbados Prime Minister.
Broadcasting from our studios in the Pine St. Michael, this is CBC NewsNight, starting now.
Hello, I'm Sharika Griffith with this weekend edition of NewsNight. In our top story, Prime Minister Mia Motley has identified 5 principles she believes can bring about a cultural shift to take Barbados forward. She revealed what she calls the Beacons of Barbados Renewal as she addressed the Barbados Labour Party's 85th annual conference. Ms. Motley told those gathered at the Christchurch Foundation School she expects them to be refined and go out as a settled policy of the BLP and the government of Barbados. The first principle is voices of accountability, which she encourages every Bajan to speak up and take responsibility when they see something going wrong in this country. The second, Guardians of Cleanliness, promotes pride in the environment and pushes Barbadians to keep their communities and beaches clean.
And while others have come and told us, oh, you look so good, I say, yeah, we look good in certain areas, but I can show you other areas where the bush stopping people from traveling through. And that is why we have given Sante a new program to pilot, to be able to make people responsible for mileage, how many ever kilometers, so that you can clean it in a day, a half a day, a week. But whenever we pass there every 2 weeks, downtown a brush, let it be clean. Because if it ain't clean, no pay. Simple.
Prime Minister Motley has also called on the Ministers of Education and Environment to ensure schools are transformed.
I want our schools beautified. I ain't talking about it no more. And you and Adrian have a responsibility in the next year to get every single school in this country looking as though children want to be there and want to be part of it. And when we add to that your entreaties for us to work, yours and that of the unions, to put the safety measures in the schools, you shall have them.
The third principle is called Agents of Respect and is one the Prime Minister admits is complex.
This beacon calls for greater respect and understanding among and between Barbadians. Because at the core of this is equally to treat each other with dignity, to resolve conflict, rather than flying off the handle and wanting to fling at somebody, or worse, shoot somebody. It is about developing empathy and building bridges instead of walls. In this new republic of ours, we commit not only to being kind to tourists, because tourism is our business, we need to be kind to each other.
Now, the fourth principle, which the Prime Minister identified as her favorite, calls on Barbadians to be creators of solutions.
Bajans need to be encouraged now in solution building, empowered to contribute and to be able to create positive change. Don't just identify the problems for me from now on. Tell me what the solution is. Come with the solution and not just the problem. And not just in public life or in government. I am talking in our homes, in our sporting teams, in our groups, all over. And that is why as of January next year, Paris Speaks will become not just something that we speak generically in, but it must be an ideas forum creating the habit of crafting solutions for ourselves.
And the last principle of the Beacons of Barbados Renewal is embracing global citizenship.
If we follow the path of insularity, mimicking the likes of Britain and Brexit, the only thing that therefore awaits us is the narrowing of opportunities, just as happened in Britain, and a degradation of our progress. Every living organism needs oxygen to survive. And we as a people must open the windows of opportunity. Sante, we said this when we were doing the early days in Rubbing Shoulders. Open the windows of opportunity and inhale deeply. And that may mean sometimes going outside of our borders, closing ourselves off from the rest of the world. will only snuff out your potential.
Well, the BLP's annual conference started last night with a cocktail reception and award ceremony. The featured speaker was Guyana's President, Dr. Irfan Ali, who praised Prime Minister Motley's leadership. President Ali says it has helped the country to make significant strides in the face of crises. And Esther Henry has that report.
Barbados is in a much better place than it was before due to the leadership of Prime Minister Mia Amor Motley. That's the opinion of Guyana's President, Dr. Irfan Ali, who was delivering the featured address at the Barbados Labour Party's 85th Anniversary Annual Conference Awards ceremony. He says Ms. Motley's leadership has resulted in the country achieving significant progress over the years and being more globally recognized.
But just think about it. A small country like Barbados with a small population, with a prime minister that has been able to be named the champion of the earth, be on Forbes magazine, be on Times front page, respected. But what has emerged out of all of this? It is not about her. Barbados today is in a better place.
While showering praise on Barbados' global leadership, President Ali says that the island and other countries in the region must work as a collective to face what the future holds.
Because the future that we face as a collective is one that will be very, very different from today. Industrialization created significant gap among and between nations. Today, if we are not careful, digitization will be that second revolution of expanding that gap. When we are still struggling to reach the rest of the world is advancing at a rapid pace in digitization.
During the event, which includes a cocktail reception and entertainment, various party stalwarts, supporters, and outstanding Barbadians are awarded for their contributions to national development. Among them is former Barbados Ambassador to the United States and the Organization of American States, Noah Lynch, who receives the Grantley Adams Award. Mr. Lynch says he is pleased to accept the award and is promising to remain loyal to the party.
Whenever and wherever you are, you got to show up every day for this party. It's about showing up. Not Wednesdays or Tuesdays or Fridays. It is about showing up all 7 days of the week for this institution. That is the Barbados Labour Party.
The conference continues throughout the weekend. Esther Henry, CBC News.
Coming up, UEK Phil graduates encouraged to have a global mindset. Graduating students of the University of the West Indies, KPhil campus, have been encouraged to think globally. That was the message from Chancellor Dr. the Most Honorable Doddridge Miller this morning as he addressed the first of 2 graduation ceremonies held today for a total of 1,346 students. Rachel Agard has that story.
For these hundreds of students, their years of perseverance and hard work paid off with their successful completion of first or second degrees. Joining them for the occasion were several outstanding Barbadians on whom honorary degrees were conferred. They included cultural practitioner, the Most Honorable Elton Dighton Ilombe Motley, who was conferred an honorary Doctor of Letters, and Sir Trevor Hassel, who received an honorary Doctor of Science degree. Addressing the graduating students, Chancellor Dr. the Most Honorable Doddridge Miller, donning new university regalia, told them to view the world as a global space.
The UWI, even with its limited resources, cannot afford to view the world only as a local or regional construct. To do so will fail its graduate and fail the region. We must continue to engage the world and participate in important research and conversations on matters of global consequence. By doing so, we will continue to produce graduates with an academic competence and the critical thinking and strategic thinking to operate in any environment of their choosing. You, the members of the graduating class of 2024, are the beneficiaries of this global thinking.
Sir Trevor, in his address, urged the graduates to learn the stories of the Caribbean heroes to support them in the next phase of their journey.
I encourage you, graduates, to continue to be true to the university's mission, being critical thinkers positively transforming the Caribbean. Naturally, there are many ways in which you can do so, but perhaps none more so than by becoming more familiar with the stories of those whose shoulders you stand on and those who continue to support you.
And valedictorian Timothy Roper encouraged his peers to make a difference, noting the Commonwealth Caribbean is in desperate need of political and legal independence.
Our graduates in the Faculty of Law must implore our respective countries to follow in the footsteps of Barbados and Guyana, who have both taken the doubly bold step of becoming republics and adopting the Caribbean Court of Justice as their final appellate court. Yet, as we stand on the threshold of our futures, we must also recognize that the issues we face are multi-dimensional and deeply interwoven and interconnected.
Another group of students graduated at 5 this evening. Rachel Agard, CBC News.
Thanks, Rachel, and congratulations to all the graduates. Well, coming up is the Weekend Sports with Damien Best.
Sports time. Good evening. I'm Damien Best. We start with some cricket news. The West Indies will be aiming to bounce back with a series win against Sri Lanka when the 3-match ODI series bowls off tomorrow. The regional side were beaten 2-1 in the T20 series, and Captain Shea Hope says the pitch at the Palikele International Stadium will be a key factor in how the team performs. Now, that first day and night ODI match bowls off at 5 a.m. Barbados time. Meanwhile, the finals of the ICC Women's T20 World Cup between New Zealand women and South Africa women bowls off at 10 a.m. Barbados time with live coverage on MCTV's ESPN channel. That's 308. Back at home, Wildy put themselves in a commanding position against Yorkshire on the opening day of Series 6 of the BCA Elite Division. Playing at the SJPIT ground, Wildy declared on 252 for 4. Neymar Bolden led with 90 and Shane Paris added 80. CBC's Amory Burt looks at some of the early action.
Yorkshire sent home Team Wildy to the crease first, and that paid dividends early, as in just the third over they would get a wicket. Demetrius Richards got too much edge on the ball, and it hit straight up before falling right into the hands of Shem Watson with just 10 runs on the board. That brought Shane Paris to the crease, and he turned this one beautifully down through the boundary. Zachary McCaskey was on the other end, and he too found the boundary off a delivery from Preston McSween, dispatched almost in the same fashion as Paris's. The introduction of spin through Avenger Prasad did not faze McCaskey as he lifted this one through extra cover. On the other end, Paris was facing Steve Pinder, and again he dished out an assault on this delivery. Those boundaries were quickly racking up a strong score. Whether Pinder or Prasad, Paris was truly settling in at the crease, and on home turf was ensuring his Wildy side set a solid foundation in the early stages of this matchup. But Prasad would say enough is enough, and it was McCaskey who was bold, stump slicked clean out, wicket number 2 falls, as Wildy are now 61 for 2, McCaskey made 28. Neymar Bolden came to the crease and sent the message to Prasad he was not playing, back foot punching this one over cover. The very next delivery was given the same treatment, power and placement on point. The overchange, and Bolden was back on strike. This time the other Prasad endowed bowls, and watch this on drive to the boundary. Known as a hard hitter, Bolden was delivering. And like before, he made it successive boundaries. Bolden had quickly raced to 21 at this stage. But Sean Williams came on from the northern end, and Paris let him know as well that any short balls will be treated accordingly. Bolden then reiterated that they were in beat ball mode, as Wildy would at this stage have 124 for 2 on the board. Anne-Marie Burke, CBC Sports.
Yeah, thanks, Anne-Marie. Yorkshire then ended the day on 43 for 2, trailing by 209 runs. In the other matches at Rice's, ESAFU Pickwick trailed Gladiola by 201 runs. Scores there, Gladiola 210, Javante de Pisa 107, Pickwick 9 for 1. At Waterford, BCA Youth reached 251 against Spartan. Zion Brathwaite made 85. Andre Marshall took 5 for 55. At Dells Road, Wanderers trailed by 118 runs. Scores UWI 193, Wanderers 75 without loss. And at Beccles Road, YMPC trailed by 114 runs. Scores Empire 160, YMPC 46 for 3 in response. Well, Barbados-born basketballer Hassan Ward has signed an NBA Exhibit 10 contract with the Boston Celtics for the 2024-25 season.
Elected to the NBA is an exciting achievement for any player. I think it would be more so for a person like Hassan, being the first coming from a country like ours where our population is not the biggest and where we're not necessarily spitting out 6-footers like some of the other nations. But I'm very happy for him. I think it would serve as an inspiration for a lot of the younger players looking up who might have that similar dream of reaching to the NBA. And even if, you know, the NBA is not their end road, there are many steps along the way where, you know, success can be equally achieved, whether it's just going to college, getting that education that will, you know, put you in a better position for the rest of your life. Even if it's athletically, there are quite a number of leagues worldwide where persons can make substantial money. But again, if the hope is the NBA and the dream is the NBA, hopefully the achievement by Hassan could really, you know, push a lot of players and give them the inspiration to achieve a similar goal.
Yeah, we indeed wish him all the very best. That's it for sports tonight. The weather details and Kerry up next.
Good evening and welcome to the weather news. Well, unstable conditions are impacting us here in Barbados. As a result, we are experiencing occasionally cloudy skies along with some showers. The winds across the region, they are moderate to breezy and are peaking at 24 knots. We're also tracking one tropical wave east of the region. The maximum temperature today was 32 degrees Celsius, the minimum 27 degrees. At present, the temperature stands at 28 degrees Celsius. The relative humidity 85%, the winds they're coming in from the east, southeast. We take a look now at our satellite feed, where we do have a tropical wave located just around 35 degrees west. It is moving towards the west. We are expecting some showers from this system here in Barbados on Tuesday. Today, unstable weather conditions maintained occasionally cloudy skies along with showers. We had up to 4.2 millimeters of rainfall. The winds are peaking at 24 knots, though seas moderate in open water, with swells peaking at 2 meters. We are urging small craft operators as well as sea bathers to exercise caution. Now, later on tonight, we can expect a mix of clear and cloudy skies along with showers and a very slight chance of some isolated thunderstorms. Over now in the Western Caribbean, there is Hurricane Oscar. The system is expected to spread hurricane conditions across Turks and Caicos later on tonight, with a maximum sustained winds of 85 miles per hour. There's also Tropical Storm Nadine. That system impacting Belize with maximum sustained winds of 45 miles per hour. Other than that, we do have a cold front generating some showers across the Bahamas. The other islands, they had afternoon localized showers. That's our first look at the weather. After the break, we'll have the forecast. Welcome back. In the forecast for tomorrow, the sun is expected to rise at 5:49 and will set at 5:36. The first high tide is expected at 5:53 in the morning and low tide at 11:11 in the morning. Now, those seas are moderate in open water with swells peaking at 2 meters. Once again, we are urging small craft operators as well as sea bathers to exercise caution. The winds coming in from the east at just around 30 kilometers per hour. For us here in Barbados tonight, we can expect a mix of clear and cloudy skies, showers, and a very slight chance of some isolated thunderstorms. Over the next 3 days, a mix of sunshine, clouds, and showers can be expected Sunday as well as Monday. By Tuesday, that tropical wave located at 35 degrees west is expected to maintain occasionally cloudy skies along with some showers.
And that's our news. Thank you so much for joining us and continue to enjoy your evening.